So here's a quick video on how to make a GUI appear and disappear in multiple regions on your map using the new spatial query system. So I'm going to start by putting in a couple of parts. This can be our first part, and this is going to be where we're going to activate the shop, let's say. So let's call it shop, and let's make it bigger. Let's make it an area of some sort. Okay, and let's make it, I don't know, green so that we can know what it is. And I'm going to make it transparent, just a little transparent so that we can see what we're doing. Definitely want to make it can collide false. We want to leave can query on and can touch goes off. Then we also want it to be anchored, of course. Massless won't hurt, that's certainly good. And let's copy this and make another area over here. Let's call this one, I don't know, upgrades. And we'll make this one a different color. Let's go with persimmon. Okay. And now we've got those, we can put them in, let's put them in a folder so that we can cycle through them easily. And let's call this GUI areas. That will do nicely. And now we will want to make some GUIs. So let's get a screen GUI and add a frame. Now this frame wants to correspond exactly to the area that we've named, or vice versa. These need to be the same. So let's make this one called shop, and let's put it in the middle of the screen. Make it a bit bigger, and let's make it the same color as we did with the area, just so we know what we're doing. That'll do. And how about a title just for good measure? And name it. Let's make some bits here. That's better. Okay, now we've got our shop. We're just going to duplicate that, and this one can be our upgrades. And that was a sort of pink color. Okay, change name so that we can tell the difference. And then of course both of these want to be not visible, like so. Okay, now we can just add a local script into the screen GUI. I'm going to call mine something like, how about area GUI script, local script. There we go. Cool. Now we know what it is. Right. To scripting. Now we want to get the players because we're going to want the local player. Players equals game service players so that we can get the player. We'll shorten that to PLR just for ease. And that's going to be players.local player. We're also going to want the run service because we're going to want to check every frame where we are. So local run service equals game get service run service. Okay. Now the GUI is the parent, so let's do that one. Script.parent. Okay, and we want to get the folder for the GUI regions or the areas. Okay, so let's go for local GUI areas equals workspace, and then we're going to wait for child to make sure it's loaded in, and we're going to call that GUI area. GUI areas. Oh, we best make sure that we actually put our areas into the GUI areas, or it won't be much use. There we go. Right, now we're going to want to use the run service. So run service, and we're going to go on the render step. I think that will be fine, as we've only manipulated some GUI and checking the position of one thing. So it's not going to overload it. Connect function. We don't need any of the parameters. We're just going to get the character. I'm doing it here in this bit so that it doesn't matter whether we have a screen GUI that resets or not on death. Or indeed if you've got any other kind of system, custom system for your characters, this will work just fine. Oh, don't forget your equals. Player.character. And then we can just do a little check for that. So let's go with if not character, then return end, rather than put the whole thing in an if statement. Just keeps it a little less indented. And of course, we're going to want to get some overlap. We're going to make some overlap parameters for this spatial query. The spatial query is going to look at a part that we give it and check for what parts are within that part. So like raycasting or any other system like that, yeah, we can use the same thing as raycasting, make white lists or black lists, and check various properties with it. So we first of all need to make an overlap parameters object. So let's just do that. Helps if you click local, let's see, param equals overlap parameters dot new, like any constructor there, and then params. Going to set the filter type to whitelist. I think, yeah, enum. This is a bit of a weird one. You use the raycast filter type. They obviously weren't expecting to use this for anything else and named it a little too specifically. But I can see why it's not worth the effort of changing the name of the enum at this point. Okay, so now we can use that. We can give it the whitelist, and the whitelist is just going to be the character's primary part. So the only thing we're doing to detect is if our player's character is in that part. We're not having to check anything else, and so this way it keeps it really quite efficient. So let's do that with param dot filter descendant instances, and we're going to give that a table. You have to handle the parts within a table, even though we're doing just one part. And then we're going to get the character's primary part. Again, that'll take care of anything, even if it's not named humanoid root part, like some sort of crazy person. And we're going to want to check the things inside. Right. So next, we want to use the spatial query. So here we go. We can do it like this. Let's go for area in iPairs. And we call it GUI areas. Now, no, yes, yeah, GUI areas, get children, that's right, because we want to go through the children. Oops, typical, there's an update right now. Get children, so that we can cycle through all of the members of GUI areas. But we need to check that we actually have. No, we can get the overlap. Let's do it that way. Overlap equals. And now this is a method of the actual workspace itself. So we go workspace get parts in part. Get parts in part, like so. And then we give it the part. So that's going to be the area. And we give it the parameters. And that's it. So now that we've done that, we can check what we got back. Now it will return an empty table if there are no
parts in that thing, so we need to handle it that way. So we could just do if the number of, once we get the right key, if the number of overlap is greater than 0, then we're going to basically make the part of the GUI that's named the same thing visible. So we'll do that by saying GUI and then in square brackets, so that we're passing a string into it to find the next thing rather than using a dot operator. We're using the square brackets, and we can say area dot name. So we just get the string that's the name, and it will be the same as the part that we've made in here. And then we can access its dot visible property and set it to true. And if it's not, so else, then we can basically do exactly the same thing but set it to false. What happened there? Just like that. And that should do the trick. It should be as simple as that. So let's give that a go. See if I was right. It's as simple as that. Okay, and there's our shop. As soon as we leave, it disappears. And then if we go to this one, our upgrades appear. And that's that. I hope this has been of help to you. Make sure to like and subscribe if this helped you. And maybe check out the Discord. Come and ask any questions you might have, and I can make a little video for you. Thanks, bye.